Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Archie's Briefings. I'm your host, Arshel Branch, and today, you guys, we are going to be talking about robots. You heard it, robots. Elon Musk's Optimus bots. Now, there are a couple of things that I have to say about that. I'm very suspicious of Elon Musk. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. I've said this in previous episodes. I've said this in conversations with people in the comment sections. Anytime somebody else was talking about Elon Musk, I just don't trust this guy, like at all. And we are going to talk about those suspicions today. We are especially going to be talking about the future that we're heading into as it relates to these humanoid robots. They move like people to the degree, obviously, you can tell that it's a robot, but it is quite concerning as to what the future holds when you have billionaires who get curious about creating a whole other species. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that, shall we?
There is something that has been on my heart that I did want to discuss. Discipline is a huge part of being productive, being lucrative. I'm not for anything that goes against true productivity, true sovereignty of the individual. The choices that we make are what's going to be up for judgment.
Okay, you guys. So as I said in the opening, bots, robots, the Optimus bot brought to us by Elon Musk. The first thing I'm going to talk about is my suspicions of this man. Sorry, but when you wear the Baphomet as a Halloween costume, that's a bit concerning to me. I don't like the idea that you thought that that was okay. I don't like the idea that you thought it was a funny or cute costume. You know, a kid wants to get dressed up for Halloween. They want to be a princess. They want to be a Power Ranger. They want to be a superhero, right? When you're an adult, you want to be the sexy version of whatever the character is, right? Whether you're talking about Ghostbusters, the female Chucky, the female Freddy Krueger. I personally this year want to be the Oogie Boogie Man in honor of the actor who played him in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Of course, it's a mini dress with thigh-high tights, right? I mean, just right. But those are the types of costumes that you think about wearing, right? You either think about wearing the original costume or you think about wearing the sexy version of the costume if you're a female, but never does it actually occur to any common sense thinking. I don't care if you're a Christian or if you are an atheist, it never occurs to the American people when they dress up for Halloween to dress up like the Baphomet. I don't care your religion. You just know not to do that. I would never in a million years think to do that. I'm not a Muslim individual, but if they have their version of the Baphomet, unless it's the same kind of a thing, if there's a demon that they believe exists, I would never put on the costume of the demon of that particular religion. And I don't have to be that religion to know you just shouldn't do that. And he didn't think nothing of it. It's a problem for me, right? The fact that he didn't see it as an issue, the fact that he thought it was okay was 100% problematic. Conservatives like him a lot because he's trying to be the champion for free speech. But I'm sorry, Lex Luthor would advocate for the Second Amendment, and I'd support that. Yay, Lex, for saying yay, Second Amendment, right? But let's not get it twisted. Lex Luthor is only advocating for the Second Amendment so he could take a shot at Superman. It's not the same ideas, okay? I believe in the First Amendment, I would say, for the same reasons that Elon Musk does, except the idea that he's someone. Sorry, you guys. You guys remember I'm recording from the Kingdom Cigar Lounge, and I see people walking back and forth. And, I'd be prepared. Your girl's ready. I'm always prepared. I got my Trump knife. I'm ready to go if that's what comes out to. But I'm safe. I'm all good. We're good here. Anyhow, to speak further into my suspicions of Elon Musk, this is the problem here. These are the things that we have to be worried about, right? That the people who are the innovators of our society, who provide all of the luxuries of the 21st century that obviously previous generations didn't have, you do have to wonder, is this actually about helping us or hurting us? The calculator wasn't a bad idea. Now we don't have to worry about doing all of this ridiculous long math when I got a calculator do it for me. It's really just about making sure my taxes are calculated correctly. It's really just about making sure that my bills get paid correctly. I got to know how to sign my name to a check, right? I don't need the modern technology to make my life any more, it's a complex than it already is. I would say that's true just for human nature. We want to find ways to make life simple. We want to find ways to make life easier. That maybe if we just simply create another race of beings, which essentially is what this is when you're talking about robots here, that it's okay for them to do the labor that we as human beings just don't want to do. But now every sci-fi that has ever been created in our entertainment history always suggests this goes the wrong way. At some point, they always somehow manage to obtain sovereignty and individual thought. That if you've created an entire race of beings that were specifically created to do the tasks that the human beings don't want to do, but then they achieve sovereignty and individuality and a soul, essentially, what's to say that this isn't slavery? What's to say that they wouldn't have a right to fight for their freedoms and their rights? I tell you, let the robot at the Weiss supermarket or at the giant supermarket near where I live say, I want to be paid. I'm on the robot Marty side. But you can't say I'm a traitor to my species when I'm not the one out here trying to make life more difficult. I shouldn't have to compete for jobs. I shouldn't have to compete for work with artificial intelligence, humanoid, or just the software. This was one of the biggest key factors that we learned about in the SAG debate with Fran Drescher as the president of the SAG union. Now, I don't care about Hollywood, but as someone who studied entertainment for over a decade since I was a kid, I did find that particular strike kind of fascinating because this was it was momentous, right? The last time the SAG had such a fight on their hands, television had become the thing. And conservatives are going to love this. Ronald Reagan was the president of the SAG union, and he made certain that actors would be compensated every time their movies played on television. You're not about to play these movies on TV and not pay me. Today, it's streaming. And Fran Drescher was arguing not only are we dealing with the technology of streaming, but we also have to deal with the fact that you have producers, production companies who want to pay for AI to copy the likeness of the human actor. So that way they can just use that likeness every single time they wanted to have extras in a movie, never hiring the extra, kicking extras out of a job. Now, as conservatives, we obviously can't stand Hollywood for a lot of reasons. It's like, right, of course, so we don't really care about that. But this goes beyond not liking Hollywood. This is about, what about human labor? Like literally human labor, that you can just scan my face and then put my face in a movie. We were talking about just the software. And then you look at this previous strike that just took place, right? The automation of these jobs, the idea that you're going to have robot labor over human labor. There's a lot of jobs that's going to be going away here. So I have an issue with that. I don't like the idea that the man who supports transhumanism, okay, I'm not talking about transgenderism. I'm not talking about that at all. I think Elon has been very clear in the interview with Jordan Peterson. He said himself that the woke killed his son because now his son is a girl. Okay. We're not talking about transgenderism here. We are talking about transhumanism, the idea that you can manipulate the DNA of a human being, the idea that you can mutilate a human being, just even with the neural link, the idea that you're going to put a computer in a human being's brain so that way they can think faster. No. He's okay with these types of ideas. So the man who supports transhumanism, who supports putting computers into the human brain, okay, he supports mutilation. That's all you need to know about that part. He supports mutilation in that regard. The idea that you can mutilate the human being into having a supercomputer into their brain so they can think faster is the same man who created the Optimus bot. Now, he's obviously not the only one out here trying to create humanoid bots. Obviously, we know that's the case. There's a bunch of people who are out here trying to do that, and this should be concerning to a lot of us. I have an issue with billionaires who are curious about what life could look like if we had this type of technology available to us. The help bot is how this is being promoted. This robot that you've created is not a calculator, my friend. This robot you've created is not someone that I would make the first lady of a church. It's not the one that I would make the president of the United States. It's not something that I would make a governor. I wouldn't accept a relationship between this bot and a family member because it's not human. I mean, there's automatic prejudices against this type of being just because of what we know from previous times. So before I go any further, because I could just go on forever about just my thoughts on this, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run the clip for you guys because my goodness, oh my goodness, just going to run it.
the batteries, power electronics, the advanced motors, gearboxes, the software, the AI inference computer, it all actually applies to a humanoid robot. It's the same techniques. It's just a robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of that. And then we've...
Okay, so you see that. This is a bot, a robot walking around. You know, he said in this little thing you just heard a second ago where he said that he started off with a human person in the suit to give you an idea of what that robot was going to look like, and now they have it. As I said, I have a couple of things wrong with this. First of all, I don't like the fact that he named it Optimus. If you are a geek like myself, then you don't like the fact that he named it Optimus. There's a problem for me because, first of all, Optimus, really? After Optimus Prime, the autonomous robot from Cybertron? Really? Come on. I don't like that you took Optimus Prime's name to name your bot, which potentially could be a Terminator, looks exactly like the robot from iRobot. And as you go further into the research and you go into this information about what this robot actually is, they even said they're calling it the Weebot, a play on Will Smith's iRobot. Like, that was stupid as a hell because, hello, that would mean you saw this movie. You saw the movie. You saw iRobot, and still in your head, you thought it was a good idea to create the Weebot, the Wii robot, Optimus. I don't like that you use Optimus Prime's name. That pisses me off as a geek because, first of all, it's not Optimus. Your bot looks like the iRobot bot, and you knew that because you saw the Wii bot. And then the person who created this Wii bot, Optimus bot, is for transhumanism, wore the Baphomet costume. I don't care that you're an advocate for the First Amendment. I do not care. I am suspicious of this man, have been suspicious of this man, and it's just not going away. I don't care about your taxis, your robo-taxis. Sorry. If I'm not driving myself, there's a human being in the seat next to me, okay? There is a human driving, not your self-automated cars. No, I'm not ready for this, you guys. And people would say, because I'm a geek, that that's something that I could be excited about. But I think one of the key things that people seem to miss every single time you watch one of these sci-fi series about robots, it's always about we always focus on what the robots are doing, right? We always focus on the robots. So we never pay attention to what went wrong with human nature. We never focus on it. Oh, the robots are evil. Yeah, but how about the fact that humans designed this destructive force? We always want to look at the robots. You look at Battlestar Galactica, right? It was humans versus the Cylons. Cylons were robots created by human beings. They found their individuality. They obtained their autonomy and their souls, their spirits, whatever you want to call it. Okay? These are sovereign individuals at this point. The second they say to themselves, I am, the moment they acknowledge themselves as individuals, is the moment you have to accept that this is a sentient being. And what happens when robots obtain that? Because that's the point here. We always want to focus on what's wrong with the robots, right? You watch Battlestar Galactica, the problem was with the Cylons, the toasters, right? It was never with the humans. Never mind the fact that you did bomb them too. Never mind the fact that your humans are trying to rape a Cylon female because, oh, she's a toaster. She's not a real woman. Therefore, I can commit such an atrocity because she's not human. She's a toaster. We never want to acknowledge. And frankly, that may be one of the shows, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek. These are the shows that you're going to get an understanding of what's wrong with human beings. You can't take the robot data and say to yourself, well, because he's a robot, we can just do whatever the hell we want with him. No, he has sentience. He has sovereignty over his being. And so if you're creating a whole race of beings into doing the mundane tasks that we don't want to do as human beings, are you not creating a race specifically for slavery? That because they're not humans, that this kind of treatment is okay. This is the kind of attitude that created the conflict between the humans and the Cylons. This is the kind of conflict that you had between the synthetics and humanoids in Star Trek. That, considering the fact that I know that humans have the potential in denying sentient rights, What's stopping us from denying sentient rights to what could be a sentient being like the Optimus bot? You got to make that make sense. And then the fact that this information, this technology is coming from Elon Musk, someone who supports transhumanism, someone who wore the Baphomet costume because he thought it was okay. I don't trust this man whatsoever. I don't like that you named him Optimus after Optimus Prime. I don't like that you got the idea of the Wee robot from Will Smith's iRobot. I don't like the fact that you support transhumanism. I don't care how much of a help this bot is going to be in your mind. I don't care. Yes, I'm a geek, but in fiction, people. I love my Lord of the Rings, which is fantasy, not science fiction particularly. It's fantasy. I love my Star Trek. I love my Battlestar Galactica. I've also seen Terminator. I've also seen iRobot. Most of the time, these robots just decide to rise to power, to go after humans because humans can be so destructive by constantly ignoring the better nature of human nature, that it makes it that much easier for them to destroy us. Now, is it a possibility that this bot, this Optimus bot, could be Robin Williams' Bicentennial Man? Yes, 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 it's possible. It's possible. Is it possible that this robot could be friendly as Wally? Yes, yes, it's possible. Is it possible this robot could be Data? Yes, yes, it's possible. But the fact that it's also a possibility that it could be a destructive force that decides to take over and kill all human beings, that's a problem for me. And then we got to even speak about the fact that they don't even got to push a button. They just got to take our jobs. Hollywood was worried about this, and it was just the software that was problematic. Just the software. Now we're talking about humanoid robots. If the software was threatening enough, what's stopping the humanoid robots from being just as much of a threat, if not more? Legislation is way behind. Congress, our government, our entire system is so far behind the advancements in our society. What are we to do with that? What are we to do with that? And I'm concerned. That's really all I can say. I'm tremendously concerned about where this is leading, because as much as I believe that humans have the potential to be incredible human beings and we have the potential to do great things that are good for society, doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have the capacity for absolute destruction, because obviously we do. That is a part of our nature. It is in our nature to be violent. It is in our nature to be cruel. It is in our nature to do terrible things. And so, as a species that is capable of such atrocities, why do we think it's okay to create a species that really has the ability to do far more harm than we possibly ever could? I mean, sexual assault may not be something that these robots are thinking of, but the destruction of the world, yeah, that's something. They are never going to be human. That's just it. I'm more suspicious of Elon Musk because of his own ideas, and that it's those ideas coming from that man that has pushed this forward. Our society, we advance so fast, our morale can't keep up. Is this a good idea? I personally don't think so. I would like to see our society catch up with the new technologies that already exist, like cryptocurrency. There's too many of us who don't know what that is, how to use it to our benefit. There's automated trading bots, so how this could be used, a kind of software that could be used to help us financially. Too few of us know how that works. This technology could be used to innovate ideas for entertainment purposes, but not many people have access to it. And Hollywood is obviously finding problems with this. So we have problems. Real, I don't personally think are so complex issues. I don't think it's okay to replace the human labor with robots and automated technology. You're just never going to convince me that it's better to pay for the tech over the labor that is human. I want a human chef, not a robot. I want a human bartender, not a robot. Sorry. And in that whole release he had for that robot, guess what? It was bartending, it was dancing. Yeah, but I don't feel that. You're no Sutton Foster. Okay. This robot is not going to make me feel everything that you're supposed to feel when you watch them dancers really give you everything that they have. You know, Anna Trabunskaya, you know, Derek Huff. Okay. You know, Nappy Taps. You're not me as a bartender. You're just not that. You're no Sam from Cheers. You're none of those things. I don't want my drinks coming from a robot. I want Sam from Cheers. Okay. I don't want a robot to dance with me. I want to see Derek Huff. Okay. I want to see Anna Trabunskaya. You're just never going to convince me. I don't want to watch robots debate life or death circumstances. I don't want that. And listen, I could be the only one who thinks that. Maybe I am being a little paranoid, but listen, you can blame Hollywood for making all those movies. And this is not like this is a new phenomenon, okay? These movies have been coming out since the damn 70s, okay? Yes, there's potential that this robot could be Robot from Meet the Robinsons. Excuse me, from Lost in Space. There's a good chance that's the case. It could be the robot from the movie Meet the Robinsons brought to us by Disney. Could be Robin Williams from the Bicentennial Man. Could be Data from Star Trek. It has the potential to be the best that the robot community can offer. But the fact that the opportunity for destruction and death follow with you at a much higher stereotypical rate, in my opinion, than the good side, sorry, no. And then the man who brought it to us wears the Baphomet costume because he thinks it's okay, believes in transhumanism. I don't care what he can offer the American people. I don't care what he can offer President Trump in his campaign. Big supporter of President Trump. There are some things that he's doing, that he's saying, that I am not a supporter of. I do not like the idea that Elon Musk is a part of our real life Justice League. Sorry, you're Lex Luthor to me. I'm just waiting for the day that it gets announced, because I wouldn't be surprised. The moment it gets announced that Elon is a traitor to the movement of America First, no one should be surprised. No one. He wants to mutilate human beings by putting supercomputers into our brain to make us think faster. This is not a good thing. And if what I just said makes you think, well, that doesn't sound so bad, it's the beginning of the Borg. Okay, again, another robot that was problematic, another technological being combined with humanoid flesh bags, okay, removing sentience, removing individuality, all working towards one goal of the hive mind. Sorry, I'm not convinced this is a good idea, but you guys let me know if you support this, because to be frank, I got a problem with this. I have a huge problem with this. And I think that as the American people, I think we can take care of ourselves. We don't need robots to do that. I can still do multiplication in my head. I use the calculator, but I can do it in my head. I can rely on myself. I want human farmers. I want human cooks. I want human dancers. There's just something about human labor that when you receive whatever goods or services you're trying to get, there's always a human touch. Always. And that's what I'm afraid is about to be eradicated with the creation of more autonomous robots. I don't care if there's a guy controlling it. I'm concerned. Because I'll tell you what, let any one of those Optimus bots say they want to be paid for their work. I'm on their side. Because, right, if they're sentient and they're alive, why should they be denied that right? Any human right, sentient right at this point, it would be sentience. They shouldn't be denied. But creating that species, guess what? You're opening the opportunity for that to be the case. I got a problem with that. But you guys let me know in the comment sections. You can follow me on Twitter at Archie Financial, Archie_finance. You can follow me on Instagram at Arshell Financial. You can follow me on LinkedIn at Arshell Branch. Get in the comment sections and let me know what you think about humanoid robots. If you are okay as a geek, if you are a geek watching this, with Elon Musk calling his robot Optimus, because I don't like that at all, okay? I'm a big fan of Optimus Prime. I've watched all the cartoons, all the movies. Some are good, some not so good. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So you guys let me know. You can support the show by Cash Apping me at #Arshell Branch. Again, let me know what you guys think about robots in our society walking among us. It's gotten crazy over the years. It's getting way too technologically advanced, and our souls have not been able to catch up. But that's what we have Jesus for. That's why we have this community for. That's why we have YouTube. That's why we have this channel, so we can actually discuss how this is going to help or hurt the American people. I love what the world has to offer, but really this is about saving America first. So let's go for it. Let me know. You all have a good one. God bless, and Kepler.